I need to vent to you, and I need you to, lay me down on the red leather couch. I'm very frustrated today.
Yeah.
It was a frustrating win. I'm not happy with Kellen. I'm not happy with the offensive line. I'm not happy with Dak. I'm not happy about the interior of the Cowboys defense against the lone threat they had offensively. I'm just not very happy after this W. Lay me down and give me the counseling.
If you are unhappy with the W, imagine what you would have felt like if they had lost the game.
Yes, even worse.
You need to restore some perspective, because while there are absolutely some things about which to be concerned, there are unquestionably things that they have to get better at starting next Sunday. When it's done, when it's all over, they don't ask you how, they ask you how many. And they're 8-4, now with a 2.5 game lead in the division, pending everybody else playing this week. The Kellen, being down on Kellen, some of that is what the players execute. I'll give you an example. Fourth down, second possession of the game. They go for it.
Yeah.
And they miss. Prescott and Lamb don't hook up, and they turn the ball over. So if they do make that connection, guaranteed it's a touchdown. And so that looks like something that was not a good idea, but it was actually a great idea. It was a great call, and the players didn't execute it right. So sometimes what Kellen does, remember the things that go to the line of scrimmage, the quarterback can check out of them, and you don't have any idea what Kellen sent in. You only know what Prescott did.
Yeah.
So that's the part about Kellen. I'm anxious, and
But on the Pollard touchdown run, you even said it yourself. You said, "Please don't run. Please don't run."
Because I thought they were going to run up inside again.
Yeah, that's my frustration with them.
Yeah, well, so that's a reasonable frustration, and they got away from it there. Now, sometimes what I'm trying to say, Sean, is that sometimes those plays get checked out of or adjusted. So what gets sent in is not necessarily what it looks like when it gets executed.
Right.
So that you have to take a deep breath. You're still on the couch now. You have to take a deep breath on the Kellen part. Now, on the interior of the offensive line execution, that's a reasonable concern. I am most interested in looking at this tape and seeing. Now, do keep in mind, the other team's on scholarship too, and they're the third best run defense and number one in average yards per carry. So you didn't expect to get a lot of rushing done.
Right.
But you do expect a little bit more than that, and I think they're playing. We don't know what percentage of Zeke they have available. I think it's a reasonable question to ask. Why don't you then just have him in there when he's gonna block, or it's a bounce out play that maybe he can get to the edge? You can't signal to the other team what you're going to do by how you use them. So you have to show some things, but it's a reasonable concern. I am most interested to see what that tape looks like, and they're not going to have an easy bunch to play with next week either. I think that it was. Look, I'm frustrated by the offense's kind of inability to develop a rhythm.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. The other side of the ball, the fact that they could not figure out with the players on the field how to stop the quarterback running on the edge. There were two big gains that I think Basham was one time, and I have to look. I don't remember who the other end was, that they just took a bite upfield, and then the guy's outside, and that you can't allow that to happen. They're not going to go as far as they want to go and we want them to go if they keep giving up chunk plays. Now, I will turn it around and give you something to feel a little bit better about.
All right.
When you watch the defense back, I think you're going to see number 90 really active.
Yeah, especially on that beginning of that game.
Yeah, but you know what? He was playing. I bet he got close to 50% of the plays, and so he's going to have an impact. Now you're going to put 91 back in on the other side. Now you can nickel. You can put Gregory down inside and Micah on the edge. You can have Micah coming from wherever you want him coming from, and so they're going to be able to do some things in the last month of the season that they have not been able to do in the last couple of months. The other thing that I think is worth pointing out is, they tested Anthony Brown.
Yes.
And he played really well, and he did not let the stuff that happened with the officials the week before interfere with how he played, because some of the stuff he did last night that wasn't called would have been called the week before. And it's really easy for a player to get tentative, and then you really do give up a lot of big plays. He didn't do that, and I was very impressed by his mental toughness and the way he just came back and kept attacking. They've got to clean some things up. They're giving up way, way, way too many big plays, and that's a concern. But they won the game despite all of the things that they didn't do well, and next week is an opportunity for them to do better at those things.
Brad Sham, voice of the Cowboys, join us here at 105 through the Fan. What did you make of the performance of the offensive line last night?
Chop, I'm a big fan of watching offensive line play, and when you're doing a game, when you're doing play-by-play, it's something that's really hard to see because I got to watch the ball. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the reasons that I said I'm so interested in watching this back today. Like against Kansas City, live, I could not have told you that I thought Collins had a horrible game. But when I watched the tape, he had a horrible game. And then Steele played the next week, and then now Steele's out. And so I'm interested to see how he did. And I'm interested to see, who struggled inside. I don't think that they have my just gut feeling is I don't think they have left guard completely solved, but some of that's the scheme. The Saints had a great scheme, and they executed it to the best of their ability, and they've got some really good defensive players over there, and they were missing some. But that was mostly in the pass rush game. So I think that the offensive line, I will tell you this, I thought the pass protection was, for the most part, it was really, really good. And so the execution in the running game is what you got to look at. Where are they having problems?
What did Laufenberg have to say about Dak's game? And what has he had to say about Dak in general here? Something just feels off, Brad. I'm curious what Babe has had to say about timing or reads or confidence or health, kind of y'all's assessment of Prescott's play.
I don't think health's a concern, but I think that Babe and I both, Sean, are kind of scratching our heads. He has, I think, the way you just put it is the way we would put it. Something seems a little off. I thought I heard one of his comments after the game last night that he maybe got a little greedy. I don't know if it was the interception or some things that he was trying to force the issue, and he has got to calm down a little bit. Everybody in the world was telling him 5 weeks ago that he was the MVP in the league. And so maybe he has to just go back to remembering that all he's got to be is the winning quarterback every week. And then the MVP stuff takes care of itself. I don't know. I mean, I trust him completely to be level-headed. Most of the time he makes really good decisions, but I don't think it's something you can question to say that he has not been in a good rhythm. Now, he did have the injury, but I think he's way over that. I don't think there's anything physical, but I don't think he's in a rhythm. Now, let's see what happens. Look, the cut you played and your statements coming out of it, those three receivers make a difference.
Yeah.
So Cooper, they kind of knew going in that he was going to be a third down guy last night. So let's see what happens as he has a chance to rest and practice and work out more, and then maybe he's on the field more in Washington. And then Cedric Wilson's probably their fourth best receiver, and he wasn't available last night. I think now we're getting into micro now, but I think for me, what I've seen, my gut feeling is I have a little more confidence in Malik Turner running routes and catching the ball than I do Noah Brown at the moment.
Yeah.
But so that's an adjustment they kind of have to get to. And one of those guys without Cedric Wilson, whichever one it is going to be higher up in the rotation, and it's 2 notches higher with Cooper only playing third down. But they're moving in the right direction in terms of personnel, and you can see the plays that those guys make. So I wouldn't look at anything as the way it is. I think all that's evolving. But as far as Dak, I mean, I think the Bears watching. He just got to find a rhythm. When he finds a rhythm, then I think you'll see the guy that we saw earlier in the year.
Brad Sham here on the Fan. I think you've always been a big fan of Van Der Esch, but he got crushed last night, at least on social media. I wasn't paying attention to him as much. What's up with Van Der Esch's season and his play as of late in your eyes?
I don't think he's having a good year. I think he's. I think he is. I don't want to crawl into his head where I've never been invited, and he doesn't look super motivated. Babe and I were actually talking about that on the bus coming back to the hotel after the game, and when he was the Wolf Hunter,
yeah,
that was something that he kind of could get into, and it fed on itself. And now he hasn't played like that, and the more he hasn't played like that, then the less he's on the field. And I don't think he's had a good year, but to be really cold about it, I don't think that they're going to re-sign him, and so you got to worry about it for another month.
We need to stop giving rookies nicknames, I think, in general.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was a problem to me, and I thought it and said it at the time that, when Jalen started selling sunglasses and swiping in 10-point losses, and Van Der Esch kind of took his cue from that. I think that there was a kind of a misplaced emphasis. I don't think they have that now. I think there's a little bit more of a team feeling about the entire defensive unit, and we're interested in what's going on right now. My prediction would be that next year most of the linebacking play would be Parsons and Jabril Cox, and then they'll draft somebody else or sign somebody else. Maybe Neal will be back, maybe not. But, I mean, Van Der Esch has not had a good year. He'll get signed by somebody else, but right now they just need to try to figure out a way to get to him and get the most out of him that they possibly can, because he can be a useful player for the stretch.
How much?
How much what?
How much for the session? We're done.
No, here's
and
the
don't
thing.
say tequila, because I've seen the tequila you drink, and it's got to be a lower price.
Was it Closet Azul?
We're not going to charge you today, and the reason we're not going to charge you today is you need several more sessions.
They get the 3 session charge,
There
the group price.
We will talk about it when we get a little further down the road to see how you're doing.
Thank you, brother. Get some rest. Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah. Okay, boys, you too.